Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Hope you're all doing well. It's nice and sunny outside, so if you can get some of that, definitely get it. Let's talk about something that is prominent and, frankly, costs money. I call it a spreadsheet priest and a meetings champion. Messy up there. It costs money. A meetings champion, I don't even know what that is. What kind of a job description is that you sit in meetings all day? That's the equivalent of talking about problems. If you're solving problems, sure, but usually when you're in a meeting, you're just kind of giving direction for solutions. So if it's just meetings, if meetings is your job description and your importance is that you're in meetings all day, that's completely useless. I'm not saying that you can't have any. I'm just saying if that's the majority of what you do, you're not doing anything useful. Anybody can have a quick meeting and it's not very useful. Like maybe one alignment meeting a week. I even hate using that term. You can have one of those to make sure everybody is on the same page, but running meetings like it is the lifeblood of a management role is ridiculous. But to go with that, its counterpart sibling, a spreadsheet priest. You go off of everything with spreadsheets. Like everything you run your business with is spreadsheets, what the data says. You do realize that data is not actually live. Not really. If you're relying on that for everything, you're making all your decisions. I mean, one example can be if you make planograms, but you do all of that, you completely restructure a store's layout based on what areas had high traffic. You might want to make sure that what had high traffic wasn't the area and it was the product. Because if you're going to move stuff for low traffic into the high traffic area, there's a good chance you're moving stuff that nobody wanted over into the place where stuff was that people did want, and now they can't go find it. There are people who will just up and leave. I've done that myself. If I go into the store and you completely move the layout and I'm trying to find something and I can't find it, I'll just leave. You didn't entice me with anything else. You're not going to somehow get a bunch of sales from me because, woo, shiny things, woohoo, yay, lots of sales. No. You honestly just irritated me, and I left and I went somewhere else where I have an easier time finding the thing I was looking for. Before you say, yes, you can go and ask the store associate. Yes, you can, but the point isn't be an adult and go ask a store associate so that way the store can make money. The point is don't cause friction. It's not smart to make it difficult for people to get anywhere in a store, hoping that you'll get more sales. That's kind of pointless. It's the same problem with if I just shove as much on the shelf as I possibly can, it'll save labor hours and people can grab more. Except that if someone pulls something off the shelf and 5 more things fall, they might just put everything back and leave. You've created friction. And you didn't save any money. You didn't do anything useful. And this, goes across the board. It's not just with retail. I mean, in any industry, if you rely heavily on what does the spreadsheet say, that's just written down data. If you don't know what's going on with the floor, if you are a high-level executive and you rely by word of mouth and what your subordinates tell you, you just go strictly off that and then go, well, what does this say on the spreadsheet? What on earth are you doing? You really don't think that people will tell you a clean version so that they don't look bad? You're not getting the truth. If you don't want the truth, then you're probably in the wrong business because you should want the truth. Spreadsheets don't tell you that. Sitting in meetings all day and going over the spreadsheet doesn't even tell you that. Management isn't, I sit in meetings all day and then I manage the people. And I manage the people is the equivalent of I tell you all what to do and then I write you up if you do it wrong. That's completely useless. I have met managers who have no idea what's going on the floor. They go, my lead's job is the floor. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. I sit in meetings all day and I manage the people. Tell me you're useless and unqualified at your job without telling me you're useless and unqualified. Does that mean that you're a bad person? No. Does that mean that you're a stupid person? No. Does it mean that you're incompetent? It's possible, but incompetence is something that can actually be fixed. Making stupid decisions can be fixed. Now, a stupid decision isn't I made a mistake, period. That's not that. A stupid decision is I made a decision that I was pretty sure was probably not a good idea, or I made it very quick and hasty and I didn't think through it and it resulted in a bad outcome. That's a stupid decision and everybody makes them. We all make them. But a problem with management, which is what, this kind of correlates with being a spreadsheet priest and a meetings champion, is my identity and my value is that I'm a manager. That should be a part of what you do. That's not a who you are. If your whole thing is any critique on what I do is a personal attack against my character and worth, you have an ego problem. You should welcome critiques. I mean, in real honesty, you should welcome someone who goes, I really think you might be a bit incompetent with your job. I'm not necessarily saying you should go say that, because if you're going to say that, you need to be very careful how you say it, because it comes across as you essentially saying, you are a stupid fool, quit your job, it's my turn. But what you can do is say, I think you made some bad decisions here. Here are the decisions that I saw that you make, and here's why I think that they're bad. That's not an attack, that's a critique. At which point a good manager would go, okay, well, walk me through what you thought and why. And I'll tell you why I came to that decision, which that leads to another part, information hoarding. Management treats it like we're the only ones who get to have information, and everyone else is basically a peasant that gets whatever crumbs we throw them. Management's job is to serve their bottom line, not to rule with a golden scepter and a whip to crack. Your spreadsheets are not the oracle that tell you everything. Lots of mistakes happen with spreadsheets. If you're going to start a sale, like a really fun deal, maybe it's for Valentine's Day, maybe it's for Mother's Day, I don't know, what have you. I've seen this in stores. You can use balloons. There's nothing wrong with that. Use things to attract attention. If there's a bunch of damn strings everywhere and people are having to play dodgeball with the string to weave their head through it, that's a bit much. That's like hiring a clown to dance and squeeze a horn and try to tell jokes to make people think it's funny and yay, come buy something. You're going to make people feel weird. You're going to make people feel awkward, and they'll walk away. I sure as hell wouldn't walk up to something like that, because it's too much. You've thrown too much in my face trying to get passive traffic, and it's not even inviting. It's just annoying. A lot of it can be actually really annoying. And when you restructure a store, like me personally, if you restructure a store, it irritates me. I'm not going in there to spend I'm going to be facetious here. I'm not going in there to spend 7 hours looking at stuff and deciding how I feel about every product, and then going through a 6-month dialogue in 5 seconds about what my feelings are and whether or not I want to buy it. I'm in there to find what I want to find, and I'm usually happy when I can get in there, grab my stuff, and leave. I have no interest in going down the chips aisle and staring at a new brand of chips for 7 minutes, debating with myself on whether or not I want to eat them tonight. I don't go into a store and go, what do I feel like I maybe want to get today? And let's stand around for 12 hours and discuss. That's not the point of a store. The point of a store isn't an internal monologue therapy session to get a product. And that's actually, unfortunately, what leads to issues with, a spreadsheet priest. The spreadsheet only told you what was being sold in what area. Didn't tell you that area was somehow a mystical anchor that drew people to it, and if you put anything there, you're suddenly going to get a spike up in sales. I'm not saying everybody does that, but some people do. Some people operate like that. The point boils down to, meetings are not the job. Spreadsheets are not your oracle. Go on the floor. Talk to the people. Talk to your bottom line. Listen to what they tell you. Just because someone is an entry-level associate doesn't mean that they're dumb, and because you are an area manager or you're in the corporate area, that you are the all-knowing and they're just a little puppy that needs to learn to yap a little bit better and sit wagging their tail waiting for a cookie. Listen to what people tell you, because you'll get a lot of feedback. Ask customers. Don't do those annoying surveys, though. Don't walk around like, hey, do you want a survey? No, just talk to people. Walk up to a customer. If they don't look like they would get cranky, walk up to them and ask them, how do you feel about the store? Were you able to find anything? Do you have any concerns? Is there anything here that bothers you? Like, ask for feedback. Ask for the negative feedback. If you're trying to get, I want nothing but wonderful feedback, you're not looking right. Wonderful feedback is not going to be the full story. Ask for the negative stuff. You can't solve a problem that you're not even trying to find. And, usually people don't want to be negative. So invite them, like literally invite them to share with you the things they don't like. Ask them outright. What are things you do not like? What is making your experience negative? What is something you would point at and say, I don't like this? Invite them to go right over to whatever it is and point straight at it and go, I don't like this. I think this is dumb. That's good feedback. If you're only looking for positive feedback, then you're going to stay in an echo chamber, which is exactly what meetings and meetings and meetings is for. You want a positive echo chamber that tells you what you want to hear, and then you wonder why you can't fix anything. And if someone else suggests something at the bottom, you treat it like you're in subordination. You don't tell me that. I'm to discover it because I'm the top level. Well, if you were that good, you would have already found it. You being at the top doesn't make you somehow the omnipotent perfect because you're at the top. You're so isolated in a bubble that half the time you don't know what the hell's going down the line. And then you're going to blame your bottom line. You're going to blame your managers for not telling you the truth. But if they told you the truth and they gave you problems, wouldn't you probably get after them because a problem existed at all ever? When the job should be, there are problems. What are they? Not, I want to hear nothing but good news. If you're at the very, very top, you should be telling anyone in the room in the meeting with you, I don't want the polished PR. I want the raw truth. How many people have left? How many people did not like this section? How many people have complained about something? Don't be someone who wants all the positive and to feel, your ego stroked. Don't be a meetings champion, and please stop with the spreadsheet priest stuff. Actually, if you rely that heavily on a spreadsheet, that tells me you probably don't really know how to run a business. You might be a better fit just being an analyst who stares at data points all day, because if that's really what you rely on, that tells me that you're kind of out of the loop. Hopefully this helps, though. This is not meant to be an attack. This is not meant to be, hey, you're bad. This is just meant to be, you might be missing this. This is legitimate feedback. You might be having this kind of go over your head. If you get really busy, it's very common to have stuff go over your head. I'm just pointing out stuff that is evident and it is true, and it will help you. It'll help you. If this video did help, if you liked it, feel free to share and subscribe. Please help me spread, what I'm doing in the message to help people. I love to help improve business operations, same as I love to coach people on health and fitness and nutrition. Whatever I can do to improve and find the root cause is what I always love to do, and I usually find the root cause. That's my aim. If find the root cause of what's going on with your business or your health or whatever the problem is, I'd be happy to help you solve it. Have a great day.